Brad, and we're recording. So I had a family dinner tonight, and so I was running a bit behind with doing my posts and everything, and so I thought I would just do a video and you guys can watch it if you want to. Also do a little bit of write-up about what we're talking about today. So today is Sunday, which is when I talk about my mental health journey, which there's so many aspects, so it's always really hard to pick what I'm gonna do. But I was thinking a lot today about different judgments people make, and I read this thing on Facebook that a couple of my friends had liked, and it really made me mad because everybody's different, and making one assumption about a group of people like females or males is not fair and can be really hurtful. It makes me think of that one quote that's like, don't judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, or something along those lines. I'm not always great at memory punchlines, but that's okay. So this thing was, I have a little list, don't worry, I'm not touching my phone while I'm driving. So it was, if she has these 20 things, she's still a girl, not a woman. Some of the things I was like, yeah, okay, that's kind of childish, but everybody's different. Everybody likes different things. Everybody does things different ways. And it's not for us to judge how other people do things, because that's not fair, and it can be very, very harmful. So I'm going to read out the things, and I'm going to comment on a couple of them, and kind of explain how, from a mental health perspective, how saying those things, just as a generality, say that you're a child, not a woman, if you do these things, can be really, really harmful to anyone, and especially someone with mental health issues. So the first thing was if she has teddy bears, specifically in her bedroom, but really anywhere, was the general consensus on this post. And yeah, teddy bears, they're typically a child's thing. But you know what? What if they need something to hold? What if that gives them comfort? What if they've had that for their entire life, and that's what makes them feel loved? There's so many different reasons someone could have a teddy bear, and not dating someone or not seeing them as a woman because they have a teddy bear seems like a pretty minor thing. Like, maybe that shouldn't be the first red flag you're thinking of when it comes to dating someone or being a friend to someone or being okay with calling them a woman versus a girl. The next thing was dead plants, which in my world, it makes total sense. But I've struggled with this. I've had plants and they have died. And it has been sad, and I've forgotten about them, and I forgot to clean them up, and it sucked because I had dead plants, and then I would walk in and I'd be looking around, making sure my house was perfect when I brought somebody in, and I'd be like, oh, I'm so sorry about that dead plant over there. That's so weird. I should clean that up. But you know what? Part of what I wanted to mention with mental health is you've got a lot of things going on in your brain. And it's really hard to explain because everybody's like, you know what? Everybody's thinking about everything all at once, and everybody's got lots to think about. But I don't even know how to explain it. I can't. You've got a lot going on in your brain, and you don't even notice the things around you necessarily on a lot of things. One of the other things was clothes on the floor. So, like, honestly, I can come home from work and I can crawl into my bed and not notice that I have dishes or clothes on the floor, and just because I'm so overwhelmed by what's gone on that day, and I just need to shut my eyes and shut off. And that can be true for someone with mental health issues or without mental health issues. There's a lot of reasons someone can be that way, but that doesn't mean that they're not a woman because they have a dead plant, or they have clothes on their floor, or they haven't finished cleaning all of their dirty dishes. Yes, things pile up and it's a little bit gross, but that doesn't make them any less of a person, any less of an adult, or any less of a valuable person in society. So I know that's not the things that they said in the article, that it makes them not an adult. They were kind of alluding to that, but kind of not. But that's often where my mind goes. And I'm not going to generalize and say where all people with mental health goes, because that's not. Everybody's different and everybody's unique. But that's where my mind goes. And I do this thing that they call in the mental health world catastrophizing. So you tell me that I'm a child if I have a teddy bear. Then my brain is going to go to, well, if I'm a child because I have a teddy bear, what else is wrong with me? What else am I doing that's childlike? How can I change this? I need to take 15 steps and break it down and figure out how to fix this problem. But oh wait, there's also this problem, and I have to have 12 steps to fix that problem. And I get all these problems. So I start out with this simple thing of having a teddy bear sitting on your bed, and it ends up with the bedspread and the whole room and the house and the way I dress and the way I act. And it turns into this crazy big, out of proportion explosion of thoughts and ideas and problems and ways to fix them. And it becomes so overwhelming that I can't handle it. And it's almost like you have to shut your brain off and come back to it. So I have these skills that I've been taught by different therapists that, like, literally you're shutting your brain down and you're focusing on being okay. So it's like stopping thinking of what you're thinking about and like turning on a funny movie and just focusing on that, because at this point you're at a point where your brain can't handle anymore and you have to let it be and just do what you need to do to be okay for the next couple of minutes. So it gets really, really overwhelming when people make wide judgments about people in general, not even people with mental health, but people. Like, this one's just about women. So if you do these 20 things, you're not a woman, you're a girl, which is absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. The other thing was only romance novels on your bookshelf, fan posters on your walls. Both of those things, it really depends on the person. Maybe reading is their way of getting out of the world, and the romance novel is their way of getting out of the world and just taking a chill pill and escaping from reality, because often people use reading as that, and maybe romance is all they like reading. It doesn't have to say some big catastrophic thing that they have this twisted view of romance and love and that you shouldn't date them because they're going to expect all these crazy things. If you think somebody's going to be like that, talk to them. Be like, hey, noticed you have some romance books. What do you think about this? Because most people have more thoughts in their head than what they've read. Anyways, my philosophical blunt for the night. The other thing was having pink on your bedroom walls. Pink's a cool color. It isn't just for kids. You can have whatever color floats your boat on the rooms of your walls. Just say. Alright. And then empty fridge. Maybe they haven't shopped yet this week. Like, people run out of food and then they have to go buy more food. That's kind of how we live as humans. We buy food, we eat food, and then we have to go buy more food because we still have to eat food. That's the thing. Don't judge people. Or maybe they like to do everything in the freezer and they take things out and then they heat it up. Whatever your thing is, just don't judge people. I think that's like my whole issue with this, is making broad judgments for broad groups of people that are all unique. Everybody's a little different. Even like you can look at, like if I had a twin, there are so many things that would be different about my twin and me. So many things. And like you can't even fathom the differences and the likes and the dislikes and the different ways they act. It's just not fair to make broad judgments about people. I'm gonna wrap this up. So the other one was dressing your pet up, which yeah, I kind of get, because that's kind of weird in my opinion, but if that's what you like to do, then do it. Like, everybody's different. The other thing was having childhood quilts, having a futon in your bedroom, using plastic dishes, having makeup everywhere, having twinkly lights, Hello Kitty stuff, having medals that you won in school, having a collage wall sticker, inspirational quotes, beaded curtains, and unmade beds. I could go on for days about all of these different things and why making these judgments isn't okay and why and how they affect mental health. But it's not even these specific judgments that are the issue. It's judgments in general. And like judgments really affect the way people act, and often, like, and there are some people like my brother who's awesome at this. He like just doesn't give a shit about what people think, and I'm sorry about swearing, whatever. He just tells me like just don't care about what other people think. But I can't do that. I can't shut off that part of my brain. I don't know how. I haven't learned how to yet. I don't know if I'm gonna learn how. So when somebody says those sort of things to me, it catastrophizes in my brain, and it gets to the point where this is overwhelming, and I feel like I can't handle life. And I know that's not just me, because I've talked to other people who are the same way. And it's not just people with mental health issues either. It's people. Making judgments on another person isn't okay. And some would say, like, you have to judge people somewhat to, like, know if you want to be their friend or if they're safe for you. And yes, but that's not saying, like, hey, you do this and that's really awful, so you're not an adult. That's not okay. It really isn't. And I guess that's the whole point of this video and this rant. I guess you can call it a rant. I guess what I would prefer people do instead of judging, so say, instead of saying, oh, you have a teddy bear, you're a child. Oh, you have a teddy bear, what's that from? Open a dialogue. Talk to people. Figure out what's going on behind that. Maybe they like teddy bears. Maybe it reminds them of a grandmother they lost and they like it. Everybody has different reasons for everything. Just don't judge. And if you do, keep it in your head. Don't post it on the internet where it's going to cause a ridiculous amount of anxious people out there to feel inadequate and worthless. Because they're not. I'm not, and you're not inadequate or worthless. Whether you like teddy bears or pink on your walls. Whether you like dead plants because you can't remember to water them. Or you just like dead plants. Or you like the twinkly lights because those are pretty. Twinkly lights are cool. Maybe they're not for you. I think they're cool. Some people think they're cool. Basically, don't judge. Don't be mean. Be kind. Spread love. That's my message tonight. Spread love to someone today. Have a good night, guys.